There is a revolution sweeping the world, and it's so pervasive that there are times when we are often not even aware of just how wide-ranging and impactful it is. It's called Industry 4.0 or 4IR, shorthand for the Fourth Industrial Revolution. It's a digital revolution founded on artificial intelligence, and its networks are demanding that we straddle that virtual world as it interacts with our daily lives. This does not mean that humans are being dispensed with. On the contrary, people will still be very much needed. But it's the kind of jobs we do and the kind of training we need for these new jobs that is changing. And we will have to adapt our way of thinking about education, work, workplaces, and work practices accordingly. This in turn means that the way we teach and learn must become more interactive, multidisciplined, and collaborative. It means adapting laws, codes of behavior, and our responses to each other and our environment. How can we ensure that opportunity, education, careers, and capacitation remain firmly equal to all? At the University of Johannesburg, with our quest for global excellence and as an academic and research leader in Africa, the goals we're pursuing involve providing our graduates with the right tools to be at the forefront of its development. Our continent needs a truly inclusive vision. In other words, at UJ, we're committed to creating a teaching and learning environment that will retain and produce visionary, able, innovative people who remain firmly at the center of creating tomorrow. The University of Johannesburg, the future
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and a warm welcome to the UJ Orange Carpet Welcome event. My name is Wulisani Ravere, and it is a pleasure to be your host this evening. Can we just give a round of applause to all of us for making it here through load shedding, through life, through everything that we're going through? I know it sounds a little bit facetious to be giving ourselves a round of applause, but let me tell you, there is so much going on in this world and in this country that just being able to show up, and today is not just showing up for yourselves, but showing up for your children. There are many parents who are just like, well, yeah, I don't have time for that. We are not going to be doing that. So to all of you who have made the time to come and be here this evening, to hear from us and to really learn about what it is that UJ has to offer to your children, it is a big, big thank you from us to you. A little introduction about myself. As I said, my name is Wulisani Ravere. I am a seasoned broadcaster. I've been in the entertainment industry for 25 years, starting at the age of 9. But my connection with this special place is not only as a broadcaster who started at UJFM, and I now host the 947 Weekend Breakfast on 947, but I too, 13 years ago, walked across this very stage and graduated with my BCom Marketing Management degree from the University of Johannesburg. Thanks! I do think that deserves a round of applause. I'm sure for some parents, it's been a long time since you've been in varsity. It really got a little bit harder along the way, and so really getting ourselves through tertiary education and being able to balance the studies and the fun of it all, and to walk out with a degree from an institution as prestigious as this one really is something that deserves a round of applause. And it's something that, as I drove through the gates this evening, I stayed at Res. One of the Reses was called Squinfeld back then, and all these memories just came flooding back to me, you know. And I sat in this very auditorium and watched many plays, was a part of many plays, watched many events, and it was one of those moments where you look at yourself and you say, yeah, usebenzile mntanam. You know, you can just hear that voice of your parents saying, "Yet mooi gedaan, you've done so well, I'm so proud of you." And to all the learners that are sitting here today, in a few years' time, it will be you walking across the stage with your robes, with your belts, with your hats, saying congratulations to you, because you would have done it. So we'll give you a round of applause ahead of time. How's about that? So as I said, ladies and gentlemen, a warm welcome to all of you. Welcome to the parents, welcome to our learners, not only here in the auditorium, but those who are also joining us via live stream as we are streaming to learners right across the country. We acknowledge you and we welcome you this evening to the UJ Orange Carpet Welcome event. We'd like to say a warm welcome and thank you to our vice deans from the various faculties who are joining us this evening. Welcome to the faculty members and especially welcome to all the learners here, because all of you are the top achievers at your schools at the moment, and that is why you have been invited to this prestigious event. So congratulations on all your accolades up to this far. Hearing about the Orange Carpet Welcome event, you have the privilege of learning more about the Eugenius program, and I have the pleasure of announcing that you're hearing all of this from a university that has been hard at work over the past few years, even throughout the years of the pandemic. And it gives me great pleasure to announce that in 2022, the QS rankings have come out. That is the body that ranks the universities, and the University of Johannesburg, UJ, has climbed up 2 spots in these past few years and now sits as number 2 in the top universities in the country. So why are we all here and what is this all about? Well, I'm going to let the team do all the talking, and if you have any questions, we will be addressing them towards the end. We'll start things off to let us know a little bit more about Orange Carpet and the Eugenius student experience, talking about all its benefits and what exactly the program entails. Please put your hands together for Dalitso Matechera.
Good evening, everyone, and to our online audience as well, good evening. It is a privilege to stand here, and we want to congratulate each and every one of you that has made it as Orange Carpet students. My name is Dalitso Matechera, as has already been mentioned, and I work with the Eugenius program, that is us. And basically what we do is we work with the top achieving students in the university. If you want to know a little bit more about it, essentially what it is that the Eugenius Club was an initiative formed by the Vice Chancellor's office, and the idea is to simply acknowledge top achieving students and to acknowledge excellence in the university, and then to create a basic space for these students whereby they can grow intellectually, where they can also socialize and interact and be able to get together and to know one another. So the idea is simply that they can be able to be given privileged connections and benefits, and so be nurtured to grow as intellectuals. After all, we know that the country is in need of these bright minds in order to have a bright future. So essentially, the Eugenius Club houses all of these top achievers, the top 1% of the university. What you will see is that it's for the undergraduates from first year all the way until either third year or fourth year, depending on the degree that you are studying. And so in first year, they are officially known as Orange Carpet students, which is what you are here for tonight. And then after the first year, they then become known as Eugenius Club members. But everybody really falls under the umbrella of the Eugenius Club. So how are you selected? Basically, when we talk about the orange carpet side of things, we are looking for a minimum of 70% in your 6 best subjects when you matriculate. Of course, it starts in grade 11, and then if you're consistent and you matriculate, then we are looking for that minimum of 70%, excluding life orientation, of course. And then you should have your APS score, should be at a minimum of 37. Of course, many of us are familiar, depending on what system you write, whether you write the IEB or whatever system that you write, based on the percentages of your marks that you get, we are able to calculate an APS score. And so you need a minimum of 37 for that. And then, of course, you need to, whatever you are applying to study for, you need to have met the minimum requirements that are coming from that specific department, that specific field of study. And then it needs to be the first time that you are actually trying to study. So it needs to be your very first attempt at undergraduate studies. If you meet all of these and you've applied on time, then you are able to be an orange carpet student. Of course, once you are in your first year and you're an orange carpet student, once you pass on from your first year, you then become a Eugenius Club member, and from second year onwards. And what would then happen is each year, membership is basically based on an annual basis. Each year, we then review your marks for the previous year, and depending on how you have performed, you then regain entry into the club. So what would then happen is that we require students, Eugenius Club students, so after the first year, we require them to be on a full course load. That means that whatever you are studying, your department, your field needs to have agreed that this is for the second year or for the third year. These are all the subjects you need to be taking. So you need to be on a full course load, and then you need to achieve an average. When we add up all your marks for your different courses that you're taking, an average of 75% or higher. And then none of your course marks should be below 70%. Then what will happen is, as soon as your marks are out, you will automatically be nominated by your faculty, and then we will send you an invitation to the Eugenius Club. So that's how you qualify for consistent membership in the Eugenius Club, and that's how you qualify for the orange carpet experience. What are the benefits? Because this was all developed to actually it was all developed to actually benefit you. And so there are various benefits that we have for orange carpet students. First of all, right from your grade 11 results, we give you a conditional admission status. And so, of course, the condition is that you maintain those marks, or even better, in your matric. So you are prioritized in terms of admissions. And then, of course, we offer you a merit bursary based on your hard work. And so we look at your APS score, and depending on your APS score, the University of Johannesburg will then offer you a bursary and pay your tuition fees, basically, a percentage of your tuition fees. So as you can see, if you have a range, an APS score ranging from 37 to 39, you will pay 50% of your tuition. So you only then have to pay 50% of your tuition. 40 to 41 will pay 75%. If you have an APS score of 42, will pay all of your tuition fees, so you won't need to pay that year your tuition fees. And of course, if you have higher than 42, an APS score of higher than 42, we not only will pay your tuition fees, but we will also add something on top of that for you. And so there is that. And then, of course, we'll waive your academic registration fee. So when other students are coming to register at the beginning of the year, your fee will be waived and you won't have to pay that. As an orange carpet student, you will also receive a voucher worth 2,000 rands for you to be able to spend on textbooks, stationery, things like that. There's a list of UJ accredited providers that can offer you that. And then, of course, if you're applying for accommodation, if you're from, far and wide, distant places, we then guarantee you a place. We give priority to your name as an orange carpet student. We won't pay your fees. We're not saying we'll pay your fees, but we will give priority into at a very high level, provincial level and so forth. The University of Johannesburg will then offer you a bursary to help you in your career, in your sports career. And then there's many other varied benefits that I've lumped them all together there. You get library privileges. When you're in the library, you get various privileges. You get orange carpet students. When we talk about the Eugenius students, the senior ones, we offer you a merit bursary. So based, again, on how you perform the previous year, we will then pay a percentage of your tuition fees. So for those that the average of their marks is between 75 and 80%, will pay 50% of your tuition fees. Those who achieve between 80 and 85%, we pay for 75%. And those who obtain above 85%, we then pay your full tuition fees and for the next year, and so you won't have to do that. You also get a certificate that tells you that you were in the Eugenius Club, you were a top achiever, which you can then add to your CV in order for employers to know that you were quite the top of the top. And so you get that you can add there. We also offer you the opportunity of joining a platform known as PeopleHawk that has been recently developed, which gets all these top achieving students onto that platform and all these employers onto that platform. And what we do with the students is you then are asked to upload basically a CV. You take some psychometric tests, you upload some videos of yourself and so forth. It's almost basically like a real life interview. And what then happens is that employers then have access to all of this, and the idea is that you can be employed before you graduate, or you can have the prospect of employment before you graduate. We have then, of course, careers counseling for them, again, library privileges for those that are Eugenius students, and all sorts of invitations to prestigious events. We are also working on building up an alumni network of Eugenius students so that those that have gone ahead into the field will be able to network with those that are still studying now and be able to share all sorts of experiences and perhaps opportunities and to be able to network together. So all of these form essentially the benefits that accrue from being an Orange Carpet student or being a Eugenius Club member. Thank you so much for your time. But it's enough, you're hearing it from me. I would like you to hear it from some actual students, some actual Orange Carpet and Eugenius students. And so we'll start with the Orange Carpet student. I would like to invite to the stage Ms. Samara Chetty as a current Orange Carpet student.
Orange. I've always liked the color, but an orange carpet? Would you like an orange carpet? That was the first question my mother asked me after we had gotten over the excitement that I'd gotten this bursary. The second was, what exactly is an orange carpet? That's exactly what the professor just explained, but after that excitement, after hearing about it for the first time, in a sense, I kind of forgotten about it. That was until beginning of last semester, one of my lecturers came to us and said, who of you are an Orange Carpet member or Eugenius member? And I, thinking it was something that was quite common, picked up my hand relatively quickly, only to look around me and see I was the only one. And that was when my lecturer said something that changed my view of this whole experience. He said, congratulations, you are the top 1% of this university's academic intake. And that, thank you. And that's when it hit me. For this whole time, I've been thinking of it as an opportunity, and yes, it's a great opportunity, and there was always a voice at the back of my head that told me, Samara, you've got to work hard while the others are resting, you've got to work hard while the others are playing. But I hadn't really thought of this as an honor. And then, it hit me. The greatest gift that being a part of this Orange Carpet has given me was drive. I worked hard while the others were playing, as I said before, but I'm sure you've all heard the common expression, if you are the smartest person in the room, you are in the wrong room. Well, I can tell you, I can guarantee, in fact, that all the doors that being an Orange Carpet student will open for you will lead you into rooms where you are not the smartest person in the room. And that made me all the richer for it. I was constantly being pushed above what I thought I could be. I was given that competitive edge, and it kept me on my toes. It made me wake up in those freezing mornings to get to my early morning classes. So, if I'm to sum up my whole experience of being an Orange Carpet student, I would use 3 words: opportunity, honor, and a gift. The first, this is an opportunity, so use it well. The second, this is an honor. I'm not saying get cocky, but let it be that extra gust of wind under your wings. Let it give you that confidence to write that essay just a little bit better. And lastly, which ties into my wish for all of you, it is a gift. I hope that you view this experience like you do a gift, something you're going to use well, something you're going to be thankful for, but something that you will also enjoy. Thank you.
Thank you, Samara. I now have also the honor and the privilege of calling up from the senior side, a Eugenius Club member who has been consistently excellent. Mr. Lawrence Duplessis, please come forward.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this beautiful night, an amazing event we all host. I hope you enjoy it. Back in 2019, right this time, I was sitting exactly where you are sitting right now. And I remember the emotions that rushed through me, which was excitement, nervous, like now, and most of all, overwhelmed. I just want to say thank you to Tamara, who summarized the Orange Carpet experience so beautifully, and I hope you all listened carefully, because what I will be doing is I'm going to explain how I managed to remain a Eugenius student from first year on to third year. Coming from an Afrikaans high school, I really thought I was at a disadvantage coming to an English institution. And I basically prepared myself for getting 50s. But after the first assessments, I saw some 60s and some light. And I adapted my studying technique and worked hard, and even got a hang of the university thing to eventually get back to my 80s. One important lesson I learned through my whole experience at Eugenius is resilience, which is the capability to recover quickly from difficulties. Starting in 2020, COVID-free, to all of a sudden changing to a 100% online environment was quite a switch, as I think we can all agree. Then, all of a sudden, getting back to campus and having to write online papers on campus again was once again a big switch and required a big switch in your studying as well. So be curious. If you think there's a better, easier, faster way of doing something like learning, find out, because there is probably. When time changes, so will it require you to change. Be resilient and don't just give up when things get tough. There will always be excuses. I promise you, we can all think of something and make our story sound pretty sad. No victim was ever inspirational. And we all look up to someone who has been successful despite the many difficulties they face, not someone who has been handed everything throughout their life. Here I would love to share a glimpse of difficulties I had to experience while my time at UJ. While I was still in high school, my mother was diagnosed with lymph cancer, and she was declared terminal by the doctors in 2020, which was my first year. She then sadly passed away on 9 October 2020. I loved her and was totally broken when she passed. She was amazing. She was an amazing woman and distilled so many amazing qualities within me, which I can be so thankful for. I could have easily had many excuses to give up, to drop my high marks and to drop the hard work. But I took a few days to mourn, and UJ accommodated that, and then got back to going, being as resilient as she would have wanted me to be. It is all up to you. Are you willing to put in the work, and are you willing to sacrifice? Because at the end of the day, you must make sure that nothing stands between you and what you came to achieve. Take what you have and make the best of it. It is all, however, so important to have a good support system, good friends, and strong faith to carry you through these hard times. Best of luck for the rest of the year, guys. And remember, hard work pays off. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for your time. We look forward to seeing you at the Eugenius Club. Thank you.
Thank you so much to Dalito, to Samara, as well as Lawrence. Samara and Lawrence, you both spoke so well. You know, it reminds me of how we're so often told that the future of this country, like, is nowhere. And I hear young, bright minds like yours. I look at the young faces that are sitting in the audience now, and I'm just like, we're going to be all right, you know? Don't worry, grown-ups, I said it correctly. The young ones understand what I'm saying when I say we're going to be all right. Because I'm telling you, there's a parent sitting here saying, no, that doesn't sound like correct English, okay? We know what Kendrick was saying, and Kendrick understands us. So thank you so much for really letting us into the experience of what Orange Carpet is all about and being a Eugenius student. I only have one question. Where was this when I was in varsity? I mean, can we turn back the hands of time so that we are able to just start all over? I'm proud to say I would have qualified to be on the orange carpet. Okay, I'm not just saying it. But it would be great to reverse the hands of time. But I'm so glad to see such inspiring and innovative programs that UJ is really putting out there for their prospective learners and those that are in the varsity as well. For the young minds out there, we've got a few giveaways for you to just make you feel a part of the family, okay? All you need to do is put your hand up if you know the answer to this question, and you're all top achievers. So I feel like you guys are going to be faster than Lewis Hamilton on corner number 1 at Belgium, okay? Are you ready? Maybe Lewis is not the right reference. Okay, you'll be faster than Max because he's the guy to beat at the moment. Here is the first question. What is tonight's event called? The lady in the purple top, the purple blazer, I saw you first. Stand up. And what is your name? Mbalente. Okay, and what is tonight's event called? It's called? That's not the correct answer. Let's go to the third row. Lady in the maroon blazer. Let's see if you can try your luck. Orange carpet welcome event is correct. Well done. We are bringing a prize up to you. I hope you enjoy it. Don't worry, I am Mrs. Freebie. Another one. Oh, she must come and collect. Ma'am, please, if we can have you up here to come and collect your gifts. It looks like we've got a lot of Mbalis in the house because she's also Mbalente. Congratulations, and I hope you enjoy your gift. Don't worry, you can call me Mighty Bags, Mighty Freebie. I've got more on the way, okay? We just need to hurry back to our program so we can just make up some time. And we just would like to say another thank you to all of you for being patient as we waited for those 10, 15 minutes to allow those that were stuck in traffic to make it. So we've heard about Orange Carpet. We've heard from the Eugenius Club. But I think it's important for us to hear from a first-year experience of what it is that you can expect. One of the things that nobody prepares you for is the switch from high school to university. Your parents can drill you as much as they want. They can say all the things that they want to say, but until you are through those gates, up your air, all on your own, and having to figure out life, where there's no teacher checking if you've done your homework, there's nobody coming to make sure that, you know, is everything fine, is everything okay? But being a part of this experience creates that safety net for you. And to hear more about it from the Academic Development Center, please welcome Innocentia.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Before I start, Huli, where's my present? Insider trading. All right, no problem, I'll wait for it. But before I begin with my presentation, I'd just like to ask, what are you anticipating that university is going to look like? Any volunteers? What's your outlook? You've been at UJ for like, I'll assume 30 minutes. What are you hoping that universities go? There's a hand right at the back. Yes, sir. Awesome answer. I can't guarantee you that, but let's see how it goes. You might be lucky, all right? Any volunteers? What are you anticipating? Thank you for your contribution. I'm not sure about the attention from your professors, but you will definitely meet amazing people. So thank you to our two volunteers for your answers. My name is Innocentia Khapula, and I'm from the Academic Development Center. Next year, you will find out more about it. We provide various support services to undergrad and also postgraduate students. Just to begin, we're going to look at two videos in terms of what do we anticipate that university is like. And we're going to base this on two videos that I've put up in my presentation. So here's the first video. This is an experience pilot, but let's just see how it goes. Let me not spoil it. That's the first video. I think I would have fainted if I was in that airplane. And then now let's look at the second video. All right, so those two videos, it's basically two different pilots. The first one is well experienced. They've been doing this for years, and the plane, in as much as there's a lot of turbulence, but they managed to put it on the ground. The second video, well experienced pilot, been doing this for years, but we look at the landing and it's completely different. So what is the big deal and why are we looking at this? At the moment, you're the top of the students who are doing very well, learners who are doing very well. You're here, you're seated at UJ, you're best at your school, you're one in the top of the class, you're on top of your game. But will this be enough? There's a big gap between university and high school, and this is where most students struggle. They think that when they come to university, whatever reading strategies they were using in high school, they're also going to use them when they come to university. And I also like the fact that Lawrence shared his experience and said, actually, it's not that way. You need to adapt to new ways of doing things. And that is how university is. And in as much as you might be prepared, like Huli has said, that your parents will say this, we will come and preach, you need to do this, you need to do that. When it comes to university, it's completely a different experience. And this is where most students don't actually do well. So, and in most cases, there has been research that has been conducted. 40 to 60 students do not manage to graduate. So university is a little bit tough, but I know that for the fact that you are in this room, you will definitely make it. So what is needed in order for you to be able to pass at university? So first things first, it's new study methods. You need to make sure that you attend classes, although they might be 1.5 kilometers apart. You need to make sure that you take responsibility. Sorry about that. You need to work harder than before. You need to ask for help. Remember, we have close to 300 to 400 students in a class. So if you are struggling, your lecturer or your professors might not know. So you need to go and approach them and let them know that you are struggling. And there are support services accessible on campus to assist you with that. You need to get help earlier rather than later. And this is where I fight with most students because they will normally come after. And it's like, at this point, where and how am I going to assist you? So we are human and we do understand that life happens. However, if you are encountering problems, you need to make sure that you do reach out. And then also you need to have very good time management skills. You will be required to walk and attend classes and study and prepare for tests and party. Can I ask the parents to close their ears at this point? You're also going to go out and party, but one thing you need to make sure is you need to make sure that you do study and you complete what you came here for. So I'd like to close off by saying that if I can make it, and if all the people in this room that have spoken to you can make it, you can also do it. And always remember that, keep the main thing. This is like one of my good things that I reflect on. You will come to university, there will be parties, you will meet amazing people, you'll find your husband, your wife, whatever the case it might be, but always remember to keep the main thing, which is your studies. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Innocentia. I mean, I got the degree. I do not have the husband, so I don't know what I was doing wrong throughout the studies. But I think it's such an important perspective to give you about what university may feel like. It really is like that first landing where it's like, hey, it's critical but stable, we're not sure. And at some point, you find your footing and you get the hang of it. When I was in varsity, I was on YoTV. For those, the older generation will know. If you've got a brother or sister here, they'll know. So I had a full-on broadcast career at the time, balancing my classes as well as going to TV every single afternoon, and was able to make it because of exactly the tips that Innocentia was sharing. Attending classes, there was never an excuse. If it was logistics at 7:10 at night, or it was business management at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, the classes were made. I was there. Even if I was failing stats, I was there. Didn't matter. I was showing up. Don't laugh, guys. Stats is going to show you flex. Statistics 101. Oh, shit. Okay. It's all fun and games now. We'll talk in 2023. But what Innocentia is sharing is truly critical. And for you to be a part of the Orange Carpet Welcome Club and to be a part of that experience where there are like-minded people who are going through a like-minded experience, you're already finding the good friends and the friendly faces that you said you hope university is going to bring for you. And I stand here proudly saying that my best friend of many, many years, we're still together today, I met her at Res, and we're still friends today. So you are going to get that experience. You just need to have a spirit of discernment. No, and I'll tell you why. Because there will be those that want to party all night, and there will be those that want to study all night. But let's be honest, coming to university is about balance. It's about enjoying the full experience. And even though you are top achievers and you're academics, you are going to have a little bit of fun. But you need to know yourself. You cannot compete with the next person who's able to party all night and still pass the next morning and write those papers. Know what it is that you're capable of. Know what I need to study a little bit longer because I'm not like the person next door. But please, do have some fun. But please, stay in the Orange Club so you can make it to Eugenius Club, okay? It's about balance. You see the plane? Critical but stable. Right here. All the way along. Before we get to our next speaker, and I think this one is going to be very important for the parents because I came from a home where, even though, yes, I might have been famous and on TV and things like that, money wasn't great at home. And coming to university and having my first year studies paid for 50% because my AP score qualified was really a great help. So we're going to be hearing from student finance to just talk about what are the financial aspects and the merits of being a part of this program and what the merit bursaries mean for the bottom line. Because parents, that's what you're here to hear as well. How much am I saving in my pocket so that you can go on that holiday without your child? You can leave them here while you go and live your best life. But before we get to that speaker, I have yet another prize to give away. Here is my question. Which university has recently been ranked second in the QS rankings of I didn't even get to finish my question. Okay. Last time, went to the middle. So let's go someone at the top there. The young lady next to your mom. You're wearing a navy blazer and you've got orange South Africa?
University of Johannesburg.
I know that's right. And please come and get your gift from us. And while she's coming down to get her gift, as I mentioned, we're now going to be looking at the financial aspects of being a part of the orange carpet and being a part of Eugenius. To tell us more about that, from Student Finance, please welcome Mr. Tendani Nembizane.
My name is Tendani. I'm the senior manager responsible for the revenue administration at the University of Johannesburg. By the way, I'm also a graduate or a BCom graduate of the University of Johannesburg. Before I start with my presentation, maybe I must just say the University of Johannesburg is currently budgeting at over 108 million in terms of bursaries. These are bursaries that are not coming from any external coffers. It's the money that is coming directly from the university budget. Of that 108 million, 68 or just over 68 million is being used on the merit and the Eugenius or orange carpet bursaries. This shows how much the University of Johannesburg honors academic excellence. I mean, there is nothing that is so much discouraging than to have good grades, and then from there on you do not make it to the university because of financial limitations. Access to the university must not be limited because of financial limitations. It might probably be something that is outside finances. If you are doing well academically, we need to go all out and ensure that you are well funded. As Wurisani have already said, there are a lot of students that comes to the university, and then from there on they could not be able to complete their studies because of financial constraints. But the University of Johannesburg makes sure that we do have the finance offices across all campuses to ensure that we give the financial support that you will always need through your academic life. And for you to be able to do so, you must also at all time make sure that you are performing academically. As things stand, in 2020, the Orange Carpet funded 601 students. In 2021, we increased it to 696. And in 2022, we increased the Orange Carpet to cater for 1,139 students. I'm hopeful, without any fear of contradiction, that this 2022 matriculant class are going to increase this number beyond the 139. Orange Carpet gives you an opportunity to be able to get a book voucher of 2,000, as is already articulated, and the calculations of the APS score, the previous speaker have already touched on that. Without any further ado, and with your acceptance, let me move into the next slide. The next slide deals with frequently asked questions that we thought probably we need to touch base on them, unlike also touching in all these other bursaries that we have. As soon as you come to the University of Johannesburg, we will be able to take you through, but because this is an orange carpet sitting, we thought it's going to be prudent that we explain or we take you through the frequently asked questions with regards to the orange carpet bursary. Is the orange carpet benefit available to first-year students only? The answer is yes. Orange carpet benefits are available to first-year top achievers only. And as soon as you proceed to your second or your senior year studies, that is wherein you are going to now be covered under the Eugenius, also provided you do well academically. What happens after the first year? Students who maintain an average of greater than or equal to 75 with no module below 70% may qualify for Eugenius as from second year throughout their undergraduate qualification. And obvious, there are other bursaries that you will be exposed to after or when you come to the university. What happens to my Orange Carpet Merit Award if I'm fully funded by another sponsor? Students who are fully funded by other sponsors are not eligible for merit awards. Majority of the students, they ask us why. Because of the limitation of the resources, we make sure that whatever little that we have, we must be able to spread it with almost each and every deserving student. Now, if you are having a fully funded bursary, the merit bursary will fade away because we deem that as double dipping. We do not want a situation wherein you are going to be having more than what you are supposed to have as a student. Can my book voucher be converted into a food allowance? Orange Carpet book voucher may only be utilized to purchase books, stationery, or computer devices at the bookstore available on campus or accredited bookstores. But with all these bursaries that the University of Johannesburg have at your disposal, apart from the Orange Carpet bursaries, we also have the bursaries that can be able to cater for things like residence, the bursaries that can be able to cater for things like meals, and the bursaries that can be able to cater for transportation should it happen that you are not residing on campus. Can Orange Carpet student register without paying the registration fee? Yes. Orange Carpet students are allowed for you to be able to register. The registration fee of the University of Johannesburg is currently sitting at 3,870 and 6,470 if you are residing at RES. Now, if you are an Orange Carpet student, that gets to be waived away. It's a less burden to the parent pocket, especially given the economic conditions that we are facing as a country and as an economy as things stand. Can Orange Carpet students register? I've already touched base on that. When are financial benefits paid? What happens is that as soon as we receive a listing of all the students that are confirmed, because as things stand, I'd like to believe that you are conditionally accepted. As soon as you are fully accepted at the university, the Office of Orange Carpet, they send us as finance team a listing of every student that is accepted, and we go and unblock you financially. Or if you did not pay the 3,870 or you are not part and parcel of the Orange Carpet, for you to be unblocked to proceed with your registration, you will need to pay an upfront payment. But with Orange Carpet students, that is waived away. We receive the list, and then from there on, we ensure that we unblock you in bulk, and each and every student from there on can be able to register for their qualifications. And then from there on, the 2,000 voucher will be loaded into your student card or Intellimali or Fundi account that you can be able to go and purchase the books, or that can be able to assist stationaries. As soon as we reach June, we start allocating the merit bursaries in accordance to the requirements that we have already displayed. And then if obvious you have qualified for 100%, we will be settling your fees, and your parents will not need to pay for anything. What I've always said in my entire life as a student at the University of Johannesburg, or as an administrator or an office manager, is that your grades can pay for your fees. It's your grades. I mean, even if you are going to be using NSFAS or you are going to be using any other bursary, the minimum requirement is that you must perform academically. If you do not perform academically, you are excluded. It's either financially or academically, and then from there on you need to pursue another qualification or you go to another university. But as things stand, if you can be able to maintain the results that you are having now, I can give it to you that the University of Johannesburg financial administrators will go all out to ensure that you are fully funded and you complete your studies with ease. Thank you very much.
Rodi Wangamanda bo Nembidzani. I love it that everybody knows when an MC stands, it means, yeah, my time is now done. But you were literally right on time. Parents, I hope that this has brought you a bit of relief and just insights on what it means financially, because we all know, I'm sure maybe not so much the learners, but the rest of us who are adulting in this economy of Mr. Ramaphosa, budgeting 101 is like we're literally budgeting down to every single cent. So wherever it is that you can save, I hope this has brought you a bit of relief and brought you some insight into what it is that you need to plan for and how you need to plan for the year ahead. I have also been informed that there are also more incentives for the learners in the different faculties. So once we're done with all the formal proceedings in here and you can enjoy some refreshments outside, please also visit the different faculty stores that are out there, the faculty stalls rather. They've got all the information and extra incentives for them. You know, they want you to come and study that faculty of management, but maybe you also qualify for faculty of science, that side, they want you there. So they've got some incentives to try and encourage you to come and pick one of the degrees and courses that are within there. I'd like us to move on to our final speaker for the evening. And thereafter, I'll give away our last prize that we have for tonight. And it gives me great pleasure to introduce our keynote speaker for this evening, Professor Musawenkosi Donia Sarombe. She's an academic making waves in the academic sphere. She became a Doctor of Philosophy in Industrial Psychology in 2017, breaking an outstanding academic record of becoming the youngest female PhD graduate in Africa at the age of 23. What a phenomenal achievement. Prof. Sarombe was appointed as a senior lecturer at the University of Johannesburg in 2021, and she has recently been promoted to associate professor right here at UJ. Congratulations, Prof. She lectures courses in human resource management and industrial psychology, and she also supervises postgraduate research. I'll see you for my master's, girl. If you're going to be my supervisor, we are good to go. In 2017, Prof. Sarombe received the Best Doctoral Student in South Africa Award for 2016 from the South African Board for People's Practices, as well as the Emerging Psychologist of the Year Award from the Society for Industrial and Organizational Psychology of South Africa. She was featured in the 2018 list of top 100 most influential young Africans by the Africa Youth Awards. In 2019, Prof. Sarombe was honored by the Mail and Guardian as one of the 200 young South Africans, and with several other feats and accolades under her belt, the future looks luminous for this young rising powerhouse. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our speaker, Professor Musa Sarombe.
I'm sure you were expecting someone bigger, but it is myself. It is such an honor to be speaking to you this evening, and I would just like us to give a big round of applause to this group that we have here this evening. I would like us to give a second round of applause to the parents that are accompanying you this evening. Parents here this evening, we acknowledge that just as human beings, you come with imperfections. However, the mere fact that you are here this evening, part of this event means there's something you are doing right. So that's why you deserve a huge round of applause. Now, I'm sure you are probably wondering, which is often the case after I have been introduced. Thank you very much, MC, Program Director, for that wonderful introduction. And normally after that, people wonder, was she born in a classroom to have completed her PhD at 23? So I would like to share a brief background with you of how I ended up with a PhD at 23. So I started school when I was 4 years old. When I say starting school, I don't mean creche. I mean the year before grade 1. So I started my grade 1 when I was 5. To speed things up, I skipped grade 3. And then my teachers were gonna make me skip grade 7 as well, but my parents refused because they felt that it would affect me socially at a later stage. So I did grade 7, proceeded to high school, Form 1, which is grade 13. What is it? Oh, grade 8. Oh, yes, grade 8. It confuses me. I studied in Botswana, so it's standard 1 to 7. So standard 1 is the equivalent of grade 1 in Botswana. And then you go to Form 1, which is grade 8. So I started my grade 8. I'll speak in grades since that's what you understand. And I skipped grade 10. And I went to grade 11. And then I completed my high school when I was 15. So I found myself as a first year starting university when I was 16 years old. And when my parents look back, they always wonder, how did we let you go to university and in another country by yourself at 16 years old? But thankfully, I turned out okay, I'd like to believe. So at 16, I was a first year, and I'm just gonna go with these slides. Please remind me if I forget to skip to the next slide. When I was 16 years old, I was a first year, and if you look at the pictures there, that was me in grade 1. The second picture. The first picture is my dad carrying me, and then the third picture, it was prize giving at grade 1. So I was the youngest one in the class, but I was still number 1 that year. And then the last picture there you see is me getting my first place award also in grade 7, the one I was supposed to skip again. But thankfully, I stayed the course and got that award. So this was me transitioning now from high school to university. And that picture you see there, the first one, the top left, was the last year of high school. So that was in class, the last year of high school. The next picture to the right of it, where I'm wearing a blue and black checkered jacket, was at the orientation in first year, which I was late for, by the way, because my application got lost, but that's a story for another day. And I realized that it was a whole different ballgame now. The environment itself was very different. And you can see me there in a tree, the picture under there. Also, many people wonder, was she a nerd? Was she, very different to other young people, to other children? I had my fair share of drama, as you can see me there in the tree. And I was just like any other child that you would find at university. What differentiated me from others was the ability to focus and zone in. I love what the MC spoke about when she said, you need to know how to strike the balance. We heard also in Essentia speak about the balance, why it's important to strike that balance. Because at the end of the day, there is a time for everything. And it's important for you to know when it's time for what. You can just watch the pictures as we continue of how I transitioned through university. So I graduated from my first degree, my bachelor's degree, when I was 19. You can see there pictures of my first graduation, my dad carrying me, bursting with pride, and it was such a wonderful experience, you know, to finally reach that milestone of graduating, and many wondered whether I would make it, you know, having started at such a young age. And so, because of the sense of fulfillment that it gave me, I continued to pursue my honors. And the interesting thing about that picture, the first one you see there, in between the two gentlemen, those professors, I was telling them that one day I'm gonna wear that red gown like you. And that's another aspect which is very important. Manifesting what you would like to see for yourself. If you can dream it now, then you will be able to hold it in your hand tomorrow. And remember, the future is prepared for today. Whatever bricks you are laying on your foundation, building that structure, you will reap at the end of the day. So continue also to sow those good seeds, so that eventually you will reap good fruit. I continued to do my master's degree, which I graduated for when I was 21. And then I decided, you know, I'm still young. Why not go right into my PhD? And, you know, due to a lack of funding, of course, I was like the equivalent of an orange carpet, you know, Eugenius type of individual institution at the Northwest University where I studied. And so I did have funding. However, you know, funding also does not last forever, right? You're given a certain period of time within which to complete your studies. And also because I honestly, you know, even if you check my track record, I don't like to spend too much time on, you know, certain things. I think it's something that has just stuck with me over the years, that an acceleration. So I had about 3 years to do my PhD, but I said, you know what, I can't be full-time and take 3 years like others who would take 3 years if they're part-time. So I completed it in a year and a half, and the only reason I actually completed my PhD when I was 22 years old. So I ended up with a PhD at 23, and what I want you to understand is, yes, you're the cream of the crop, the creme de la creme, right? However, you know when Nelson Mandela said education is the key? He may have, and I'm sure he probably explained this in other contexts, but if you take the quote on its own, you may neglect or forget that you need to use the key. It's itself. You could die with a key in your pocket that you've never used. And so it's important that you also invest in applying yourself in other spaces and contexts. So I joined the Golden Key. Actually, they invited me in my first year, but I didn't accept the invitation due to financial constraints because there was a fee involved. But by the time they invited me again, after my master's, I was in a position to pay for the membership. I became a member, and it opened doors. You know, I went on my first trip, the picture on the right there, that was my first trip to the United States of America, where I was going to attend a conference, a Golden Key conference. And I continued, you know, with Golden Key, participating until I rose to the ranks of Vice President of the university chapter at my institution. And it's also important for you to strike that balance, the balance aspect we spoke about. Strike the balance between your studies, but also building a profile which you will need when you enter the workplace. So there you see pictures of my PhD graduation, which was a life-changing event. I continued to, of course, be involved in various aspects of leadership at the university where I studied, and I started to really, you know, rise to great heights, which I'm so grateful for. I also was invited to become a part of the BRICS Youth Parliament, and this has taken me places. There's a picture there where I'm at a big BRICS conference in India in 2018, and so many other conferences I've had the honor of participating in. You can see there that I've also been with Mr. Cyril. Maybe we need to have a discussion about the state of the economy next. It's been a while since I saw him. I was last with him in 2020, just before the pandemic, so we need to have a talk. But you can see that this has been such a privilege to rise through the ranks, especially now that I'm fully fledged in my academic career. And interesting enough, these images that you see there, I was actually at a Best Diplomats Conference, which is a model United Nations, and I just came back yesterday morning from this conference. It was in Dubai. And when I came back yesterday morning, I went straight to Cape Town because I'm attending an IBC, a conference, a research conference. And I'm so passionate about young people, and I really wanted to be here to speak. So I'll be going back to Cape Town after today. So you can just see how this has opened such great doors, and I continue, to be invited by various organizations to empower young people. And those who maybe have seen or followed my profile, I'm so passionate about young people and women. So I want to leave you with, now that you've gotten a background, life is a journey. It's like a bus ride. And we're all on this journey, however, our stops are different. So when you're in the bus, I like what Samara spoke about. She spoke about opportunity. Don't miss your opportunity by staying on the bus too long or getting off too early. Each of us has a stop. But if you get off too soon, you may miss your stop. If you get off too late, you may also miss your stop. When you come to university, you will meet so many influences. And sometimes, the inclination and the proclivity is to go with the flow. But remember your purpose and stay grounded in it. How many of us have watched The Lion King? I know even the parents have been forced to watch Lion King. Did you see how Mufasa, in all his splendor and majesty, it only took a stampede to topple him? You are creme de la creme, cream of the crop. Be careful of the stampedes. When you come to the university, like I've said, there are so many influences. Be careful of the stampede. I want to leave you with this quote. Remember, you are different than anyone else for a reason, a good reason. Find that reason and run with it. Don't go with the tide. Don't go with the flow. I'm not going to pretend like I'm a perfect person, but what I can tell you is that the decisions I made going against the tide are the ones that yielded the most fruit in my life. So I wish you all the best. Take care of yourselves, make your parents proud, and make yourselves proud, because no matter how happy and proud they become of you, that degree is for yourself. So I wish you all the best.
Everything that we want in our lives is really possible. Some of us have got access, and being a part of this prestigious club, being invited to be a part of Orange Carpet is your key that the Prof was talking about. The question now becomes, what are you going to do with it? Because that decision lies completely in your hands. The other thing I got from what Prof was sharing is that, as young people, not to say fully soft life, go. And you think that the only way you can get to it is by being out there, having fun all the time. But what she's proven to me is that even your academics can be your access to that soft life. They really can. Think about all the places she's been to, the people she's met, the doors that have opened for her because she was committed to her academics. Just as she was committed to still having a life, but you being a top achiever, that's what makes you special. For somebody else, it's the fact that they can run, I don't know, a sprint in however many seconds. For somebody else, it's that they're a brilliant broadcaster. We all have our gifts. We all have our potential. The question is, what are you going to do with yours? You have an orange carpet laid out for you. Taking the steps and walking on that carpet, nobody can force you to do that. You need to take those steps every single day. And I hope that this evening's event has not only left you with a whole lot of information, knowing what it is that you can expect from the #2 top-ranked university in South Africa when you come next year, but that it has left you with hope and excitement to come to varsity. If anybody had to ask me what years would I want to relive again, no doubt my varsity years. Being at UJ was a privilege and an honor. And I know in this country we believe that education should be a right, and it should be. Look at where things are and where others who look like us are at. Education is a privilege in this country. And to get to be invited to learn at a university that not only cares for your academic achievement, but cares for you too, and for you to succeed, I'd say that's an opportunity you need to grab with both hands and run with it. And we'll see, maybe in the next few years, you'll be Professor Musa welcoming the next cohort of the orange carpet. Ladies and gentlemen, that brings us to the end of our program. Thank you so much for your patience in us starting a little bit late so we could accommodate everybody to make sure that they heard everything we had to share. Before we go, I'd love to give away our last competition prize. Remember, fastest hand first, or maybe sort of fastest hand first, okay? Because I need to spread the love across the room, you know what I mean? So the final question for our last gift to make you feel a part of this UJ family is, how many faculties does UJ have? I hear you right now. Young lady in the purple up at the top. There are 2 answers I'm going to accept for this one because, you know, it's a bit of both. What's your name? Siba. Yes. How many faculties does UJ have? 7. Ma'am, I will absolutely accept that answer. Well done. She knows that, but I suppose that's why you're top achievers, right? Because you know what everybody else doesn't know. Siva, come on down and grab your gift. Well done. UJ does indeed have 7 faculties, and then we also have 1 college of business economics, which is why I was willing to either accept 7 or 8. Before we round up, I have one last gift that I would love to give to a special learner. Earlier on, we spoke about how many of us come from different and difficult circumstances at home. And being a top achiever is almost you have to, because you are the change that is going to come in your family. And there's one such person who is with us in the audience today, one such learner who just wanted to thank him for his hard work, but also thank him for the fact that he traveled by himself from George on a bus to be here this evening, to take in this event and be a part of just him unlocking his future. And he doesn't know that we wanted to do this for him, but Vuyo, where are you? Vuyo from George, there he is. On behalf of UJ and all of us this evening, we just want to say Siagbon, and we lift you up in light. We know that it hasn't always been easy, and even coming to university, it's not going to get any easier. But put one foot in front of the other, Putwam, and Abazan Bako, your parents will be shining down from heaven and cheering you on, as will all of us. and may today be the first step into a beautiful future for you. And with that, ladies and gents, to the learners, I leave you with the words from Samara. May tonight be an opportunity for you. May it be a reminder of what it is that you have been given. May you treat it as an honor, and remember that it is an honor not only for the hard work of your parents, but your hard work. You sat there. You're the one writing those tests. You're the one studying hard. So this is your honor. And lastly, it is a gift to welcome you onto the orange carpet. As you head into university in 2023, 3 lessons I'd like you to take with you. Number 1, prayer changes things. No matter who it is that you pray to, believe in, whether it is God, your ancestors, it doesn't matter. Prayer changes things. Hold on to that. Number 2, comparison is the thief of joy. You're going to come into university and there are going to be people who have better things than you, some who are different from you. Do not compare yourself. Run your own race. Because envy will trip you up. But choose to be inspired by what other people achieve. And last but not least, and I think the most important one, life is a series of choices. You need to make those choices for yourself. Once you walk through these gates, your parents are not there to choose for you. They've done their work. All they're waiting for is the government certificate. But what happens in between that? What happens in between that is up to you. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you have enjoyed the orange carpet welcoming event. We invite you to please join us for refreshments and to also visit our faculty stalls outside to learn more, to get some booklets and some information. And we hope to see you right here at the University of Johannesburg in 2023. It's been a pleasure to be your host.